Talking about milk and cashews, Quincy?
Milk and cashews. I just happen to like them. That's just a tasty snack. Okay, all over the world. Pickles. No.
So you think Captain Caveman?
He would eat the carpet. I'm gonna have to call it the name and draw. Soap on a rope? No, sir. I never heard of it. Like, yeah. Well, actually, maybe I've seen soap on a rope. Ridiculous. Maybe old school, but name would not Bill Cosby's name. People have a different desire.
Captain App.
Hands on, like, if the burger's fried or boiled. How would you know this? Oh, the yucky cookies? Sometimes you can mix them with Cheez-Its.
Where did that come from?
Punch the clown. Holy Toledo, my man.
We're going to start a world war here.
But that's what I don't want to do. That's one of those things. I know. I never really even gave that a thought.
Been hitting the milk too hard, I think.
All right. Oh, sure. Okay. Well, again,
without further ado, Quincy Briscoe!
You can keep your wine and cheese. They give me the blues. You want to help? Hand me the milk and cashews.
I never said that I was being used. I'm doing right with my milk and cashews.
And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the host with the most, the one and the only Quincy Briscoe.
And a happy Memorial Day to all.
Wrong holiday.
Memorial. Oh, okay. Was it
Labor Day?
Labor Day.
Labor Day. Okay, I'm sorry. Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to all.
You ever notice Labor Day comes in the 9th month of the year?
Well, no matter what day it comes, or
I get you. I know. I get your little inside joke.
Well, isn't that the typical time for how long a person is in labor when they're carrying?
No, pregnancy.
No, people are in labor for 9 months if they are.
Well, pregnancy's 9 months. Yeah,
that must hurt.
I was always curious as to why they picked that month of the year for Labor Day.
What is Labor Day about, Mr. Rastani?
I was just going to ask you the same question. What is Labor Day? What exactly?
Well, for those people who aren't superstars like you that don't have 9-to-5ers, Labor Day is a holiday where you take a day off from work to give the laborers a day off. I'm sure there's some meaning back from like the Egyptian times or something.
It's a celebration for the working man.
Do you think they had
the working person? I guess.
Quincy, you think they had the day off from building the pyramids?
I don't think there's ever in the times in those days. Every day off of building the pyramid until it was finished, right? Because the pyramid was pretty demanding, right?
That's a fair bet. Yeah, that's well said.
Because the pyramid is a very well-built thing. People come and look at the pyramid, but I'll have to give the people who built the pyramid a lot of credit. It's a very demanding.
I think you'd have to thank the aliens, thank the people from the other world.
I mean, yeah, that's made of like gold. It's made of
Gold.
Well, what was the pyramid made of? To me, it looks like gold.
Big brown bricks.
Stone.
It's stone.
Well, okay, it's still very expensive piece.
That's where the stone masons originated.
Right.
Well, it was still very demanding. So
it's amazing though how they really don't look anything like they originally looked.
How did they originally look? I wasn't around 6,000 years ago like you.
Well, what you see now is just the raw stones.
Oh.
I think they're like limestone or something that they piled up. But when that was all finished, they covered the entire surface with fine marble.
Ooh, fine marble.
Yeah, and a lot of them sometimes had like gold caps on the top.
Mm.
So
and how do you know this?
It's history.
Okay.
Did you ever take history? Are you interested in history?
Well, the history is morons still think the world is flat, too.
Isn't it?
Maybe on the top of a stone pyramid, but...
My world is flat.
Oh, yeah, it is. Kind of like that soda you're drinking over there. I'll let you know, other than that, let's go to our first question.
We have a question from Socrates.
Oh, Socrates.
In Athens, and his question to you, Quincy Briscoe, is what is the cure for the hiccups?
It's a cure for the hiccups, Quince.
Okay, well, soda pop. I've heard that there's a couple of different remedies. Or you can hold your breath.
How long can you hold your breath for?
I never tried it, but maybe half a minute.
Oh, okay, half a minute.
But I've seen it on one of my favorite medical shows.
You said a half a minute, huh? All right, you keep talking. Go and keep talking.
Soda pop. Just slowly drink soda pop, and if it doesn't, drink cough medicine, something more. But I saw it on one of my favorite medical shows.
Okay.
Soda pop.
Drinking cough medicine for the hiccups?
Well, that I'm only just. Haircuts come from you know what? That comes from let me change that. Haircuts come from gas, don't they?
Yes.
Oh, then Pradlicic.
No, they don't come from. Yeah,
Well,
they don't come from
hiccups.
gas.
Does that come from bad heartburn or?
No.
Well, then
I'm
what
not
is
quite
hiccup?
sure what hiccups are.
Well,
It's an involuntary motion. I know that.
there you go. All right, so Quincy, you said you could hold your breath for 30 seconds, right?
Well, I don't know.
You
I
said
never
it.
tried.
Everybody here heard you. Oh, no, don't do it yet. I have to time you. I have to time you, so stand by.
I don't know.
Does everybody have my stopwatch?
Let me just half a.
Half a minute is 30 seconds. All
I
right.
don't know.
Ready? Stand by. Ready?
I bet you can do it longer.
And hold your breath. All right. Time is rolling, ladies and gentlemen. Quincy is holding his breath. His face is turning orange for some reason. Oh, look at that. Look at him go. All right, we're at 10 seconds. We're at 15 seconds. Almost halfway there, Quincy. We're at 20 seconds, and he still has not turned blue. All right, we're at 30 seconds, Quince. You did it. Oh, look at that. Huh?
Yeah, quietest 30 seconds I've seen in a while.
The highest rated episode of
you go.
30 seconds. So, okay, that's a great question there. So what's the next question?
We have a question from Jesus in Montero, and his question is, Mr. Briscoe, what is the spiciest thing? And we're gonna go around the table for this too. But Mr. Briscoe, what is the spiciest thing you've ever eaten?
I never really ate too much spices, but if I was going to eat something real spicy, it would have to be a hot sausage. Because I was just talking about this earlier today. Hot, spiciest thing. I never really ate a piece of hot sausage. That was a long, long time ago. But I don't eat spicy things, so really.
All right, South Boston Jeff, spiciest thing you've ever eaten?
Oh, you just gave me a big-time flashback, man, of one of the very first times I ever appeared down at this fancy studio and everything, and somebody sent Bull Montana a basket of vegetables. And they gave me a Guatemalan pepper to try and everything.
Is it a ghost pepper?
Yeah, one of those ghost peppers and everything. And that was the spiciest thing I've ever eaten and everything. So
What happened?
oh you start sweating profusely, and I just had to drink water for about a couple of hours to soothe my tongue. But that was terribly hot, and I'll never do that again. And after that, I won't even get any kind of peppers, not even on a delicious steak and cheese sub. No peppers.
There you go.
And the Hall of Famer, Marky D.
I think I did it by mistake. My son gave me a series of hot pepper sauces. There was like 5 of them in a box, and one of them was. Well, it was one I really liked, but it was the flavoring for barbecue sauce. And I used to like it on eggs in the morning. And one morning I grabbed the wrong bottle, and I dumped a whole bunch of habanero
On an egg?
habanero sauce on top of my egg. I took a big giant bite of it, and I just about passed out.
Wow, it must have been like one
It was
hell
like
of a breakfast you had.
it was like I swallowed a hot charcoal.
Wow, that must have been like one unforgettable egg.
Yeah, it was. It was hot.
And I was on a trip to Mumbai, and I had a biryani, which is like an Indian rice dish. And I think the kitchen was having a little fun with the visiting Westerner, and they made it a little extra hot for me, and I nearly passed out. It was so hot.
Jesus.
It's funny how from
through
people from
three
hot
shirts.
climates. It's funny how people from hot climates eat a lot of really hot things.
They do.
Again, this
know what it
I'll
is.
have to say this reminds me of like the food man versus food challenge, one of those types of shows. We're getting back to the very basics here again. That's what this reminds me of right now.
I think the food won in my case. I lost.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
What about a TC? What's the spiciest thing you've had?
Recently, it has been since I've gone vegan, and I got myself a plant-based habanero burger, and I didn't read the package very well, and I bit into it, and it was one of the most nastiest things in my life.
Habanero. All you got to do is just reading the word habanero makes you throw
Right.
it
Well, I was wondering why it was so hot, and then I got the box, and it said habanero, and I was like, oh, that's why.
That's one hot pepper.
So-
and that's not even the hottest pepper.
See, I don't mind jalapeno. That ain't bad.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. They measure the heat of things like that with what they call Scoville units.
Scoville.
Yeah. I don't know what it means, but it's a measure of heat.
What do you think Scoville means, Mr. Briscoe?
Yeah, but global. Come out the global word, but you're not talking about global.
Global heat. We'll call it global heat. Sure. Okay.
Like a jalapeno only has is 3,000 Scoville units.
Mm-hmm.
A habanero is like 3 million.
What was
and
that?
like a hell pepper is like 1 billion. I don't know. It's
What was that? What was
ridiculous.
that pepper that Bull sucked down about?
That was
20
a habanero.
Was it?
He ate a whole habanero in one bite.
Right. Yeah, and he was on fire for a week.
Oh, his nose was run.
Well,
I'll never.
More than usual, but
Well, there are some who can actually tolerate that, though.
Oh yeah.
But he paid the consequences that
He
one
did that
bite.
day.
How big was that piece of?
Not very
no,
big.
it was about this
It's
big.
not the size of the
About the
pepper.
size of a Dunkin' Donut hole. You know the
Munchkin.
things they sell at Dunkin's, the little
Munchkin.
donut holes. Yeah,
You're telling me
Munchkin.
that Colonel ate that one piece of, but
The
it,
whole thing. He popped the whole thing in his mouth all at once.
What led him to do that exactly?
Nothing. He just said, "I grew this especially for you." He didn't even ask him what it was. He just grabbed it and shoved it in his mouth.
and he was
And we had to stop tape. He was out of commission for I don't know
For
how
a while,
long.
yeah.
probably had a nasty case of heartburn.
Food
Heartburn.
2, man 0.
I thought we were going to have to hose him down with a fire hose. He
Well, probably would have done an improvement.
yeah, really.
All
Probably
right.
the first shower you would have.
Wow.
We have 2 more questions, and
Two more questions.
Our next question comes from Charlie in Montana.
Okay.
And Mr. Briscoe, this is a interesting question, and we'll go around the panel for this one as well. But what is something people do not worry about but should?
What is something people don't worry about but should?
What do you think is something that people should worry about, but maybe they don't think about it as much as they should?
All right. Well, since you asked a question,
You worry about lots of things, right?
well, if you want me to give a really 100% responsible answer, okay. How about eternity?
What?
Eternity, where they want to live for eternity.
People are worried about eternity?
Well, you asked me a question, but we'll get more into that. Read the gospel every week.
Oh, we have
Well, I think
eternity.
I understand what he's getting at. It's
I do. It's quite an answer.
very deep.
You asked me a question
But why don't people think about it?
because it's a scary but very serious issue. All you have to do is believe, and you shall have everlasting life.
But you know that it's a fact that when people are asked, what's your biggest fear in life?
All right. Well,
Death is number 2.
death is number 2. Well,
Number 1 is speaking in front of a crowd.
I don't catch
Don't ask me why, but
Well,
number 1 is speaking in front of a crowd. The fear of death is number 2.
the fear of death. Why do they fear death?
Well, don't you?
Maybe our 12 getting to a certain age, but we know it's going to happen. But
But you try not to think about it.
right.
Well, that's kind of the question. That's what the question is.
Okay.
all about.
Well, think of what the gambler said. The best thing you can hope for is to die in your sleep. How about that?
Right?
I'd rather not hope for that. But what do you
Really?
think That's a very responsible answer, Mr. Briscoe. What do you think, South Boston? Jeff, what is something people do not worry about but should?
Other than crossing the street when you're looking at your cell phone, people, somebody's gonna, more and more people are gonna get hurt. But I think probably the fact that there aren't that many good-hearted police officers left. All that you hear about is more and more police that are crooked and everything, and abusing their sick time. And
I think they're being trained. Excuse me, but I think they're being trained
It's a conspiracy.
professionally. There are no crooked police officers.
oh, there are plenty of
Where?
officers. What about Roscoe P. Coltrane of Hazard County?
Because,
Uh-oh. You got to
yeah, but you got to remember, the Dukes of Hazzard. Okay, he was crooked, but he paid the consequences, though, didn't he?
Occasionally Boss Hogg would give him a slap over the head,
But anyone who tries to be a crooked, they're going to pay the consequences.
and they.
I'll have to. I'm going to have to we all have a difference of opinion here, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, not all of us get to be a junior deputy police officer like yourself. I mean,
well, I'm sworn in that hey, because community police is that we have to stick together.
that is quite nifty. Yeah,
You
I
know,
understand that. I understand. You
I mean,
stick up for them.
they're out there 24 hours a day to protect us. You got to give them credit.
Well, probably about let's say it depends. I'd say 10% of every police force and everything are out doing their job. The rest are out. The rest are out trying to make a buck for themselves, harassing somebody.
They earn their money 24 hours a day, and if you see them, I like to bring this up as long as I'm on my show.
Sure.
If you see them in a coffee shop, then let's give the police officers and your fire department, paramedics, a cup of coffee quickly on the double, because they're out. It might be the one chance that they're out there drinking a cup of coffee, because they're out there 12 hours a day protecting for us. You know, that one cup of coffee gets them motivated, gets them back on the street again where they need it. Sure, let's call them. Well, let's give them credit. Give them a cup of coffee. A simple thank you. You know, we need our police. We need our fire department. We need the paramedics. We need.
Yeah, sure, we need them.
So
There just aren't that many honest police officers anymore. There are a few. There are a few towards.
What makes you say that?
Huh?
What makes you say that?
From personal experience.
There are a lot of honest police officers.
Yeah, there are. But there are more dishonest police officers.
Where?
than honest police.
Where?
Everywhere.
I don't think so. Because the police is a very serious business.
It sure is. I'm not arguing with you there. I'm just saying through personal experience, I think there are more dishonest police than.
I don't think so.
All right, agree to disagree on this one. Marky D, what is something that people should worry about more, but they don't?
Well, I think in this day and age, it's health. I mean, like Mickey Mantle used to say, if I'd known I was going to live so long, I would have taken better care of myself. Nowadays, the average lifespan is, maybe people are beyond 70, 80 years old. And most people nowadays, I mean, I know I had a misspent youth when I was young, and I didn't care about, and I think that's a big thing, a big issue with the youth, is that they don't really think about what's going to happen tomorrow.
Crazy kids.
They live for today. People, I know people that have jobs and they have, like for instance, they have insurance offered to them, health insurance, but they don't take it because I'm never going to get sick. I'm never going to have an accident. I'm never going to fall. I'm never going to break a leg. They just don't believe that it can happen. Then all of a sudden you turn around, the clock is turned, and now you're 60, and you've got arthritis and
all
you've
sorts
got
of issues.
You've got look at this bag of bones sitting in front of you right here because
I see Mr. Briscoe. He looks.
Mr.
Ooh,
Briscoe
there's
is
no
the
backbones
exception.
on my show.
Mr. Briscoe is the exception. You live on milk and cashews, and you live forever.
And it's a healthy snack and a tasty
You'll
one.
live forever.
He's looked the same for all of his years on this planet. Now, I would say I'm going to take a different view on this one and say that people worry too much about speaking and not enough about listening.
It all depends on what you're trying to teach. It all depends on what the topic is.
What did I just say?
I'm only giving my opinion. You just said, and once more, the teacher has to be qualified.
It's Memorial Day. What do you want?
Case in point. TC, what do you think? What is something that people should worry about more but do not?
Random asteroids.
All right.
Yeah, that's a goodie.
Because you wake up one morning and it's coming at you. What are you going to do?
No.
Well-
I mean, it's funny too because they supposedly, I mean, they can predict orbits of these things way. They were saying something about one coming to Earth, but they're saying it might not hit us for 10,000 years.
10,000.
But they're saying its trajectory is on course.
Well,
with
Mr.
hitting
Briscoe will be around. That'll be
There you go.
tricky.
Well, you just have to call Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. There you go.
We have one more question for the evening from Bruce in Gotham,
Whatever is Bruce?
and his question for you, Mr. Briscoe, and the panel is: what movie or television universe would you want to live in?
What movie or
Television universe would you want to live in?
That's a hard question to answer because there's a lot of TV shows and movies I love.
Well-
Which one would you like to live in?
It's a hard question.
Well, it's not that hard, Quincy. What TV show would you want to live in?
There's a lot of TV shows. I don't know. How about one of my favorite cop shows, a local around here, Law and Order or a Special Victims Unit.
All right, there you go.
Being a community policer, because
You would fight crime?
if I'm fighting crime right now, I'm a community policer. You report crime.
So you and Jerry are back, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't forget the Special Victims Unit.
Of course.
So you'd want to live in a place full of crime.
We're living in all cities where you're fighting crime right now by simply reporting the problem. You tell when something goes on. I think that this has been one of my very most sufficient, quite sufficient. One of my effective episodes yet.
All right, South Boston Jeff. What movie or television universe would you want to live
I
in?
guess I'd just go with the Jetsons. And ride around on those cool escalators and everything, and that would be great and everything. Those cool flying vehicles. You'd have a robot maid, and, a platform for walking your dog. Yeah, I'm definitely going with the Jetsons universe.
All right,
Jetsons, huh?
Marky D.
I think Jeff stole mine.
That was a pretty good one.
I was thinking about that.
More of a
myself.
Flintstones man, aren't you, Marky D?
More than likely, yeah. I could go for one of those Bronto burgers right
Marky
now.
D in his Uber.
There you go. Wearing my sneakers so I don't wear them out. Exactly. I don't know.
Well, that sounds like
Sometimes I think I'd like to live in the past, but then I think about what the past was really like when you think about today. I think the present is in a bad place right now. Because you really don't know what it's like. You don't know what can happen tomorrow or anything. In the future, like in the Jetsons, I don't think that would be even possible to have a lifestyle like that. I think the present is really the only.
We
place
already
to live.
have moving sidewalks at the airport.
Yeah, but That's not really a lifestyle thing. I mean, that's
Well, the politics.
you still have to have a job. And you still have to be able to make money. And you still have to have you got to pay that robot maid somehow.
Which robot is this now?
No, you
You
don't
never
have
watched
to
the
pay a
Jetsons?
robot. maid.
Rosie.
Do you
Oh,
have
yeah,
to-
the Jetsons.
Do you have to
Really?
pay your
Jetson!
CD player?
I would.
Still has a boss. He still has worries.
So, what would it be? What did you say, Mark?
I think the present.
What TV show is that?
Oh, the TV show
Yeah, TV or movie or movie.
or movie. So to narrow it down,
We'll come back. We'll come back to Mark.
Happy Days.
Okay, we'll go with Happy Days. I would go with. I was thinking Jetsons too, but I'll go with a different tack and similar view and say Star Trek.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay. Well,
'cause it's
if you
kinda-
don't mind my asking, how come Star Trek?
It'd be you'd have no more or less wars, no wars on Earth anyway, and modern technology and
According to James T. Kirk, you don't even use money.
no money and everyone has a place in society and everyone takes care of each other and I could spend all my time on the holodeck doing whatever I damn well please and I think that'd be pretty sweet.
You're gonna have problems no matter where you go. Even like if you said Star Trek, right?
That's right.
Well, come on now, don't you remember in Star Trek where they beamed themselves to different places to take care of the problems, and they had a fight, they had to recover from all their fights?
It's true, but if I spend all my time on the holodeck, I can just stay in there and not do any of that, right?
I don't think it
but
would be that easy.
I think the one question I have about that is, how does a society work without money?
It doesn't.
Without some kind of economic base or something. I mean, even if it's like, nowadays you do it with credits. I remember talking to a banker years ago, and he was saying how they're going to eliminate cash altogether, and it's all just going to be.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Credits.
I don't think it's either credit or cash or debit. There's always going to be some kind of thing. So the one day that day comes that I was just telling you about, there's always going to be money issues.
Well, because everybody would be riding around in long limousines and eating, going out to expensive restaurants. I mean, what kind of society would it become if you didn't have to worry about a financial base for anything?
What kind of society?
What would it be based on? Knowledge,
it'd be
brains.
knowledge. It'd be purpose. It'd be progress of.
We'd all be eating in very inexpensive restaurants. There'd be no more limousines. What they call the choke
That's
and
like
puke.
that's like Demolition Man, where the biggest restaurant in town was Taco Bell.
It'd be the height of civilization.
Yeah,
Well, that's about it for our questions this evening, Mr. Briscoe.
I think it's been a very interesting group of questions. What do you think?
Well, quite a diversity of answers, and I think we had a lot of good discussion tonight, and I look forward to next week.
Well, I guess conclusions on anything, but especially something like today, have a very safe and happy holiday and drive carefully. Any day, but let alone the holidays like this one, right?
Sure.
So drive home carefully. For wherever it is you're coming from or going to, drive home carefully and have a happy holiday. And we'll see you again soon on Milk and Cashews.
Happy Labor Day.
Thank
Don't
you
work
for
too
watching.
hard.
Thank you for watching radio. You can keep your bag of chips. I'm not amused. I'm riding shotgun with milk and cashews.